What is going on YouTube? Free Tendies Fantasy back to do a favorite of the channel, the Fast Puppies, while I make sure everything is all nice and set up. Ted, how was your day, man? What did you do with your day?
So today I saw the puppy opened up, and I know I said I was done. I said I was done on Underdog this year, but you know what? In honor of our friend Debo Samuel coming back to the Niners, going for one last ride, I decided, you know what? I'm gonna do one last ride too. So I will be
Nice.
drafting alongside Yanni today. Hopefully, we end up in the same lobby, and I'm hoping to, make some of my picks on camera too. I can only watch Yanni reach out for Parker Washington so many times before I lose my fucking mind.
We will. God, dude, the F bomb right away on stream. All right, let's do this. That's all right. Let's do this. Okay. So tell me when you're ready. I am ready to go. You're shared on my screen, so you don't have the delay that YouTube has, which is like a 5 second delay. So I can click enter and go whenever you're ready. You count us down and we'll shoot.
All right. Yeah, I was just pulling up the chat. All right.
Yeah.
Three, two, one, go. And confirm now. Yes. Okay.
7 people. We got it. Okay.
I think so.
While we have a second, I mean, I'll tell you exactly what I said. So my wide receiver article is coming out tomorrow morning. These are the tiers. This is a lot more boring than the tell me when it fills and we're going. This is a lot more boring than writing the strategy part because this is really what you do with it. The way I phrase it though is we can't build bricks without clay. This is my wide receiver clay. So it's like if I'm going to tell someone what to do with tiers, I want them to be able to swing around here and be like, hey, this is why I have guys ranked the way I do. I did a lot on Rasheed Rice, did a lot on this tier right here, the fringe wide receiver ones. Rushy, Zay, and Clip. Let's make sure we're in the same lobby.
All right. Yeah, dude, look at this.
Oh, nice! I got a 1. You got it. Yeah, you got 12. Let's go. Finally. Yes, dude. I'm so sick of that. And then we will. Okay, so waiting for draft to start. We reset it with the indecent exposure, right? If I refresh, he should get going here. Isn't that what we did to fix it last time?
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
well, you would have to reload your window. It's all working on mine. Dude, I
No,
can't
there it
with the
goes.
amount of belly aching you do about your draft
All right.
position. You're the constant crying.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
never at the front of the snake, and now I'm at the back of the snake, and that's fine with me because I'm gonna get hopefully some James Cook back here.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Be thrilled with that. The back of the snake's a great spot this year. I'm not at all worried
Yeah.
about that.
So I don't. It's not that I'm worried about it. It's that like I like a variety of drafts, and I'm getting way overweight on certain guys because of where. Like, dude, I've had an abnormal. I wish I'm gonna chart it next year. Like where you can just put a little ping in the chart about where you're picking to track this stuff. I'm gonna chart it next year. I'm curious where I end up being. Okay, so after Gibbs, I have 38% pick. Here's Indecent Exposure. Shout out to Indecent Exposure who loaded us up with these tools for free. Yeah, so looks like I have George Pickens, Devonta Smith are my most common two after that. Okay, there's the indecent exposure pop up. Oh, there you go. He moved it. He said it so you can move it. Let's go, dude.
Oh, nice.
Great work. We
It's a
can
big
pop.
W.
Yeah, we can pop back and forth. Good work, sir. Good work. Um, we'll let Ted make his picks, and then we're gonna have a while before it turns back to me, and that's when we can talk over. See if I'm being too bullish on Parker Washington. We'll let Ted push back on me here.
Yeah, this lobby is a FTF sandwich.
How are we feeling about? I always ask you. I'm just asking for like updates or whatever. Jonathan Taylor versus Amon Ra. How are you feeling with how bullish we are in the early running back?
Either one of those is fine with me. Honestly, I'm not grilling him either way. For me personally, I prefer getting the running back in the boat, so I would take Jonathan Taylor. But I think Amon-Ra is a totally valid pick if that's what you want to do.
Let's see.
Come on, guys, don't
Does
pick James Cook. Don't
yeah?
don't do it.
Does Ted get channel favorite? Oh, he is one away from channel favorite. Oh,
No, this is so easy for me though. We take Ashton Genty at the 112, and I'm not an Omari and Hampton guy, so Saquon Barkley. And I'm thrilled with a Genty Barkley start.
yeah. I would say any draft if you come out with Genty Barkley, you're fantastically situated. I'll have Hampton above probably both of those guys come redraft, but he's a lot riskier. Genty could well lead the NFL in touches. Fantastic pick, I think. I was seeing some stuff about like he shouldn't even be a top 15 pick because of the offense and all that. He might lead the NFL in touches. I don't know what else you could ask for. And then Barkley, I don't really care that people are saying he's going to split time and he's going to do all. No, he's not. He's one of the best running backs in the NFL. He's going to be a fixture of the Seahawks of the Eagles offense, and he's going to have an uptick in passing work. He specifically said he had to reach out to Todd Gurley to be better educated on how to run the passing system of that offense. So I don't know, man. I'm completely comfy with Barkley. We are probably gonna have to scroll down because I'm not gonna it's just a quick paragraph here, but I want to make sure I'm good to go for a pick because I have not gotten a lot of these first round picks, and I want to get my guys. I may go neighbors here, maybe, because I don't have a whole lot of neighbors, and it looks like he's going week 1. Okay, so here's the area where Ted is annoyed with me, but we're 4 picks away. Let's see what we get going here. Any of these 3 would be crushes for me. So I guess per indecent exposure, shout out to you, sir. 38% Pickens, yeah, because he is one of my favorite guys up here. So I tend to load up on Pickens. So if you can see, the queue's a little skinny up here, but I have Bowers, London, Collins. Okay, and then he goes, yeah, so then Neighbors goes, interesting. So that's a full-blown, I would love to get a little Drake London and Jahmyr Gibbs. I'll take Collins. Collins is a really, someone I'm quite high on this year too. But Drake London would be lit. Come on, man, take a running back. Okay, so there goes Drake London. So we are going to take Collins. I mean, I guess I keep pairing Jahmyr with George. That's my most common pairing. So we'll go Devonta Smith. We'll do a Devonta Smith, Nico Collins pick. You missed your pick. No, I didn't. Okay.
That's aggressively Devonta Smith. That is hyper aggressive Devonta Smith. There.
Yeah. So I like Pickens more in a vacuum, but I have 38. I mean, that's my most common pairing with him. So I don't know. I'm happy to do it.
Yeah, I guess that's the I've done 120 drafts already issue that you're running into.
Yeah.
This is my first Saquon share and my first Genty share. I don't have either of these guys because I've routinely been drafting between 1 and 3.
Yeah, there's that, but I also I have them. So the way that I feel it, and again, it's kind of nice. I have this all I can tell you exactly what I'm thinking. I believe Nico Collins is the clear fixture in this thing. 3 1,000-yard seasons, and he's the best receiver in the NFL out of heavy sets, and the Texans drafted a bunch of guys to run more heavy. So to me, Collins stands out in this tier. I love Neighbors and Pickens, but there is a lot more floor there for a variety of reasons, right? Rashee Rice will get up into this tier for me as soon as he's cleared 100%, but he's played 12 games over 2 years, so I'm keeping him out of the ones. And then that leaves Devonta Smith, who to me is just like this nice mix of floor and ceiling. Like, I think he could be absolutely force-fed this year, targets-wise. He has the easiest schedule for wide receiver in the NFL. Averages like 15, 16 points per game in half PPR without A.J. Brown. So he's a pretty comfy back-end one for me right now. But again, I like George Pickens more. I just have taken a ton of George Pickens there. Let's see what our very own Theodore does in the draft before getting into some Parker Washington shenanigans. T. Higgins continues to slide. I think that's a pretty good pick. I don't think you guys should be fading T. Higgins this year.
So we'll get some Lad McConkey is our first pick here. And then I'm kind of split. I do really like the Josh Allen idea here. But I'm going to go up Robusto RB and get Josh Jacobs.
Yeah, dude, I love those. The Sharps are really fading Jacobs this year, saying they'll only take him if he's a 4th-round value. I think that's incorrect. I think he's a fringe running back 1. So that's my thinking with Smith, perhaps rightly or wrongly. Again, Rashee Rice, wide receiver 2 in points per game behind only Jamar Chase since 2024. The issue is he's played 12 games during that span. That's my concern there. I think that's a real concern. 12 games in 2 seasons is tough. Multiple season-ending injuries. I'm still a huge Rashee Rice guy. I'm just nervous about it. And then, okay. Where are we at here? Still have a second. Nah, maybe we don't have a second. There's Mike Evans climbing up a little bit. I think he probably should be. I think everyone is not, like, maybe getting hyped enough about what could be some season winning potential from Mike there. I hate calling him Big Mike. Big Mike sounds like a porn star's name. I don't call him Big Mike. That really bothers me, dude. That sounds like a an adult actor. Okay, so if Colston Loveland gets back to us, my policy has been I'm not going to chase Colston Loveland off boards, but if he is there in the 5th round, I'll take him, and I've actually managed to get a pretty good position of him there. So okay, we will take Colston Loveland because that's sort of how I've been playing that, and then we're going to do Baishal Tootin. So we're going to do a couple guys that, again, Colston Loveland at the 4-5 turn, I am taking. And then Baishal Tootin, I was pretty aggressive, putting him at running back 17. I have him ahead of ETN, Scattaboo, Montgomery, and Swift. I believe he's going to be the clear-cut one come the season. Nice balanced start. Jameer Gibbs, Baishal Tootin, Nico Collins, Devonta Smith, Colston Loveland. We are opened up to Caleb Williams or Jalen Hurts at the next turn. I like being able to stack an elite quarterback there, so I'm always happy with these starts. Don't like the running backs there as much, so we'll see. And the wide receivers dry up too, so it might be a little weird depending on what comes back to us. Okay, see, and that was interesting. Oh, so after Baishal Tootin, really 38%. Oh, 38% of the time I go. Yeah, Jordan Tyson, Parker Washington. I mean, that's why. Those are my guys. Devonte Adams. Okay, so Christian Watson climbing up above Devonte Adams in this one. That's sort of interesting.
I'm
I
hoping this guy doesn't take Lamar Jackson because I'm itching for some 5'12 Lamar.
Yeah.
He doesn't.
The Zay Flowers.
And then the Josh Allen guy's not going to take him. Yeah, so it's like I got to get through 2 guys here, and then get Lamar Jackson at the 5-6 turn.
Oh my God, that's a late Monty. That's sick.
Don't do it to me, man. Let me have my Lamar Jackson.
All right. God.
Yeah, this kind of shook out perfectly for me. So we are taking Lamar here, and then we have a little blob wide receiver here. I only have one, so I feel like I have to draft wide receiver. And this is kind of been a point of contention between me and Yanni. This tier, like Jordan Tyson is a consideration, Marvin Harrison is a consideration, and then the Jacksonville guys are a consideration. And to me, I'm going to take a Jacksonville guy, but I'm going to take the wide receiver one in Jacksonville, Brian Thomas Jr.
Fair enough, man. Okay, so that's a good lead into, and there goes Parker Washington right after. There you go. So that's a good lead in. I mean, you tell me. Here's my exact thoughts on this tier. You tell me where I'm being weird. This was like one of the more aggressive sections I wrote. I think we have to. God, It's weird. We actually like barely don't have enough time. But here's the Parker Washington section. This tier gets me going because I would bet my bottom dollar there's ADP smashes here, right? So that's my big thing. It's my personal belief that Parker Washington exists at the intersection of a scheme that makes kings of slot receivers and a quarterback who utilizes them the best of any other position on the field. The floor is what? Wide receiver 40. The ceiling's wide receiver 10. We can take that bet in the mid wide receiver 30s. I'm diving head first. Come back and laugh at me if it flops. Parker Washington's my guy in 26. So that's all it is. I'm not saying he's like this guaranteed league winner or something. I'm saying the risk reward to me is really, really good there. Maybe you get like 6.
I think the risk reward of Brian Thomas Jr. is far greater than the risk reward of Parker Washington.
It's the same bet.
Reward, the high end of No, it's not the same bet. Brian Thomas Jr. already has 1,200 yards in a double-digit touchdown season on his resume.
Yeah.
Last year, which I think everyone would agree was an egregious bust year for Brian Thomas Jr. He paced on a 17-game, I guess for a 17-game pace, he was like somewhere like 870-ish yards, which is more than Parker Washington has ever produced in his career.
Yes.
So our lowest possible outcome for Brian Thomas Jr. is better than anything Parker Washington has ever done. A lot of people are very excited about the camp reports, and that's fine. There's a lot of excitable people out there. I'm not one of them though. And to me, like when we talk about playing for first or last, right, in a big contest like this, it's Brian. You're swinging for the fences with Brian Thomas Jr. To me, Parker Washington has like mid to low quality level flex written all over him this year, but
Mm-hmm.
time will tell.
Yeah, so where I followed that up with was lastly, 2 year threes I'm not giving up on, blah, blah, blah. There's a little shout out to Godwin in there. And then I said, what do we do with the Jekyll and Hyde career of Brian Thomas Jr.? What am I doing? I'm buying both. You're telling me I can get special talent like this with the prospect profiles they had in year three as low end wide receiver threes? Do it. Even if BTJ doesn't reach his rookie season peak, he feels so safe relative to ADP. And what if Marv truly does break out? So I'm buying on both of them. I'm not. I'm absolutely not. And I do think it's a very similar bet. I just prefer the Parker Washington bet because of what I said about how Trevor Lawrence has used slot players and how Liam Cohen has used slot players. That's the tiebreaker for me. But that's why it's a really good conversation because it's about
Hey,
how do you look at pedigree versus scheme. And there's a lot of players that have failed on scheme because the thing about scheme is Liam Cohen can just decide I'm using Travis Hunter in the slot. I'm using Jacoby Myers in the slot. I'm pulling Parker Washington off the field in 12 and 13 personnel. And then it's over, right? Because he's not a transcendent talent. Probably not. I mean, I think it's safe to say he's not a transcendent talent. Certainly not the third best rookie receiver we've ever seen in Brian Thomas Jr. But that's for me. That's what it is. I actually do agree. They're where you're taking them. They're right next to each other. What their upside is very similar. So then it's, do you want to bet on pedigree or do you want to bet on scheme, or and trend? Like who the quarterback trends towards. For me,
oh, this
I'm
piece of
betting
shit
scheme.
took Justin Herbert.
Yeah, that would have been.
I was gonna take Herbert there.
That's early too. And Trevor Lawrence, and the guy
I,
takes the Trevor Lawrence Parker Washington stack, right there.
I didn't want Trevor. I listen. I think the wheels could fall off of Trevor. I think that we are putting a lot of stock in the fantasy community to a guy who has been largely a big fat bust his entire career, and I think the wheels could completely fall off that thing. So I took Alec Pierce. That's my first Alec Pierce share. It feels gross, but at the 7-8 turn, I think that's fine. And Laporta kind of interests me here, but I feel like I'm behind at wide receiver, so I'm going with a Chris Godwin
Mm-hmm.
is my wide receiver four.
Okay, so Ted has a really nice, robust build. This is why I'm so comfortable doing these in both redraft and best ball this year. Genty Barkley Jacobs, like if he really wanted to, which Ted tends to draft a little heavier running back, but if you wanted to, you could go like a fragile build and just throw like an Alvin Kamara in there and be done. In redraft, like you ideally shouldn't have to worry about your room past here. Really good four wide receivers. Again, maybe I pick some different guys at cost, but I think Alec Pierce is for best ball. I think Alec Pierce is one of the best picks at cost you could make, and so is Godwin, right? And then Lad McConkey, I think, is a total crush this year, even though I think the offense is going to be a little less explosive than people are. I think it's going to be a little bit more like running and ball control and slower pace than people think. He's going to have to be really efficient, but I think Lad will be really efficient. And then Brian Thomas Jr., like I said, I'm completely comfortable with however you adjudicate that wide receiver room. The only thing I don't like is people that won't make bets on it. I've seen a lot of people saying it's just to stay away from me because it's so weird. And like, I don't think that's how you should. Uh, that's how you should play a situation where there's like massive league defining upside. I would not look at that and go, well, I'm just not going to touch it.
I mean, it could very well be the case that it's just not a good place to be invested in. Like the wheels could fall off of Trevor Lawrence entirely, right? I was saying this earlier. I think the funniest possible outcome would be Trevor Lawrence is awful this year. The Jags go back to being a dumpster fire. Liam Cohen gets fired, and fantasy Twitter loses their minds because everyone has an opinion on all of these guys, and they're being highly pumped. Like, think about it, right? Like Bashal Tootin. Everyone's wanting a piece of Bashal Tootin right now. Everyone's staking their claim on Parker Washington or BTJ, right? Everyone has strong feelings on this offense, and it's being highly drafted, and we really haven't gotten that much fantasy value from the Jaguars in a long time, other than last year, right? So
So okay, just real quick, why I picked the way I did. I do think J.K. Dobbins, if you're a hero RB drafter, which technically this is a double hero, but I think Baishal could take a little bit to get going. I love him in this sort of build. I think you're going to get at least 6 to 8 weeks of high-end production out of Dobbins. There is always the possibility that he stays healthy and absolutely crushes ADP. If he stays healthy for a full season, he's going to be a mid-range RB2. I mean, he's never taken more than 200 touches. That's why it's just not a bet that I make often. But in this sort of build, absolutely love that. I don't like Mekhi Lemon either, but double stacked with Jalen Hurts, I'll take a Mekhi Lemon, Devonta Smith. And then Michael Wilson, I think, is a pretty good price here. I was taking a lot of Ricky Parasol. Obviously, that is done now. He was by far my favorite at range. But we have Brissett back. Like, I kind of like taking some bets. Like, it's not like a big bet of mine, but I like making some bets that Michael Wilson might pick up where he left off. I don't think he does, but it's worth worth taking a flyer out on, I think. Okay. Let's close that. Let's see where I'm picking again. So 144. If Stroud doesn't come back to me for the Nico stack, I'm going to be an unhappy camper. Where is his ADP now? I feel like it's pretty low. No one likes CJ Stroud anymore. 144.5. Okay. And I don't even have any other stacks I can chase at this next turn. Okay. Let's see what our very own
Xavier
Theodore
Worthy at
does.
the 910. That was top of my queue. All right, so we're at the 9-10 turn. I'm gonna draft Kyle Pitts. Actually, I am kind of interested in some discounted Kyle Pitts. Then I'm gonna make a bet here that Mark Andrews comes back to me. I don't know if that's like for sure gonna happen, but that's just the bet I'm making, and I'm gonna go with Matthew Golden here to kind of take a big fat swing. In certain rooms, I would go Wandale, but I feel like Godwin's kind of like my floor guy, so adding a little boom there.
I like Golden a lot more than the market does this year. Wandale won't get back to me, but I'll take him. Romeo Dobbs, Casey Concepcion. I would take any. I like this little pocket that's in here. I like Wandale the most. I have him in a tier above this range, but I think KC is the best receiver in Cleveland this year. At least that is how I've been betting. And again, right, I'm trying to do exactly what I've been, not trying to do it because I wrote it in the articles. The way I wrote the articles was actually how I manage my drafts. In hero RB rosters like this, I like to take a bet on someone like a Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt or a Jordan Mason, because if they get their role, like, that's a really quality RB2, even though I think no matter what, White is going to factor in with JCM. I still think, like, if you were to tell me who's the most likely just to become a 3-down back in Washington, it's by far JCM, or at least, like, get 15 touches a game. I think he's the most likely. I prefer White because of the receiving role, but he's pretty good. If Baker slid there, I was about to say, if Baker slides, that's a pull for me there too, but he does not. Ideally, we get these two dudes. If one of them goes, I'm going to be pretty annoyed. I know how my life works, so one of them will go. It's just about whom. Okay. It was the one I like more. Okay, so there goes Dobbs. That's okay. It happens. We're going to let that clock run out while we decide what else to do. Don't like Chris Rodriguez with Tootin. I do like the Chris Rodriguez price down here. I've taken so much. Rashid Shaheed will chill out on that a little bit. We're going to try... You know what? No, I do want... I'm going to take Tracy. I was going to say we're going to try to get... Okay, we'll let that go. We'll take Higgins, and we're going to hope to God that CJ Stroud comes back around to us here. Never...
Tempting me to take an uncorrelated CJ Stroud along with my uncorrelated Lamar Jackson.
Just for the memes, man. You should. Okay. Yeah, I'm not a big Higgins drafter. I actually think that might be the first share of him I've taken. But if I can get a double stack with Hurts, double stack with Stroud, I'll feel pretty good about it. The running back room was a little weak. I was debating Tyron Tracy there. But honestly, like when you draft, you should draft like you're going to be correct. And part of that means, in theory, if I'm correct, I should have 2 running backs that can float me, plus a really quality third. So you don't want to start drafting scared after you take a big stand like Tootin in the 5th. I think it's going to be slow going at first. Like, even Chase Brown averaged like 8 to 10 points a game while we were waiting for that, Brown-Moss thing to work itself out. I wouldn't be surprised if we see something like that with Tootin for a little bit. I just do think ultimately he's going to be the workload guy there and the valuable workload guy, so...
Jalen Coker at the 11-7. I haven't been making that click very often.
No.
Last year I was a cokehead at round 18. Not so much this year. Oh, I got sniped on Mark Andrews. Fuck this guy.
Oh, one before two
Okay.
on a stack, dude.
So we are gonna be Woody Marks drafters here. And that's probably gonna just finish off my running back room. And then I still don't have a second quarterback. I'm gonna reach down for dimes here. I'm gonna be a dimes guy because I have Alec Pierce. That's my quarterback too.
I think that's fine. Maybe he's healthy. Okay, so yeah, we have CJ Stroud affixed to the top of the chart there. Dallas Goddard would be a great fall if it happens. Keaton Mitchell's getting great press so far this summer. I am excited about that. I have been crushing Omar Cooper at this price range all summer because I think you're getting a first round wide receiver in the wide receiver 40-50 range on Underdog. I think that's a great bet, like, regardless of what I think of the player. I actually think he's a pretty good player. And he has been out there making like cool contested catches down the sideline. Very Debo-esque. That's actually why a lot of 49ers fans were pretty shocked if the 49ers were going to take a receiver this year. They didn't sit in there and just take Omar Cooper Jr. because he comps most closely to Debo. So it's been a comfy click for me at cost so far. I think in redraft, that's going to be a guy that I start throwing on the end of my rosters too, just to see. Again, it's just a process bet, right? Round one quarterback going for or round one running back, round one wide receiver going for free. I think that's a bet you should keep making. It's one I've made a lot this summer. Okay, CJ, come on. You see that I'm sure you saw Tank Dell did not get an injury distinction here. Okay, so see Rashid Shaheed 50% after Higgins. Yeah, I've gone heavy Rashid Shaheed. 14% Rashid Shaheed in the 12th round. That is aggressive. 12% Dallas Goddard, yeah, and then Omar Cooper 6%. Shout out indecent exposure. I also
I
like
like
the
that
name.
it's like not suggesting you do something. It's just like this is what you have done,
Yep.
right? So you can follow your own stuff versus like being sold an algorithm.
Yep.
I think that's cool.
Yeah, it's cool. Like I respect the guy. He's trying to get his stuff out there. He's trying to. So Omar Cooper Jr. projects for 10.6 PPG. CJ Stroud 15. Please don't snipe me on last minute Stroud. Cam Ward and Sam Darnold are better picks, sir. I just want my stacks. And actually, I can get a pretty cool Jalen Hurts. Dallas Goddard stack here really late. It's pretty cool. At that point, I would just eat the week 10 buy because I already have like half my roster on buy for week 10. I don't care about the double buy there. I don't know if I would feel the need to go with a third tight end. Okay, so we get a really cool turn here with some really nice stacks. Dallas Goddard. We get CJ Stroud. So we now have a double stack with CJ Stroud, Collins, Jaden Higgins. If you're drafting Nico Collins and Jaden Higgins, you are making a bet that CJ Stroud will be good. You might as well double down on the bet. That's the only way a roster like this survives. And then we get a nice triple stack with Jalen Hurts. Mekhi Lemon, I think, is going to be slow going. I'm not liking the camp report so far on him, to be honest with you. It sounds pretty not good. But I'll take him when I have Hurts at the 6-7 turn. And then Dallas Goddard is one of my favorite tight end values. I've been really stoked to take him every chance I get. Okay, pressure is on Ted. I'm trying to think if there's anything else
I mean,
noteworthy here. Go ahead.
there goes Naylor. All right. Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know how much pressure is actually on me because like so much of this like I like the draft picks I made, but there's not. My only saving grace is that Lamar Jackson doesn't need that much correlation because of
No.
the rushing upside.
No, he doesn't need any.
Like it'd be nice if you had it, but
No.
don't super need it.
No, he doesn't need anything. I don't think. I mean, what do you imagine on Yahoo? He's probably going to be like a mid 4th round pick. He's not going to slide in Yahoo like that. There's no way.
What would really excite me is if I had gotten Justin Herbert, then I could get Oronde Gadsden is my tight end too, and I'd be pretty happy about that. But the guy in front of me took him.
I'm not really seeing any huge ADP movers because we haven't been on here in a while. We've been doing DraftKings. Do you see anything? I mean, I guess Debo Samuel, right? And Stribling, who should be going higher. I had Denzel Boston, but that's like a one-time thing. That's like 20 picks higher than he's typically been going. Doesn't really look like anything that earth shattering's been occurring here.
Oh, Jalen McMillan, don't. You guys are killing me. You guys are killing me.
Bryce
I'm gonna
Young.
make a click that I almost would never do, but what I want to do is get Fernando Mendoza at the 15-12. So I'm gonna draft Trey Tucker preparing for that,
It's a good pick.
and then I'm just gonna take my vitamins and take Jawan Johnson as a tight end too. I'm not particularly excited about it, but once you start getting down here, it's kind of gross. So I'll just get the second tight end in the boat now.
That's good. You got him behind ADP. It's a good move. It's a good move. But okay, I'm trying to think. We have 9 picks here to pop over. Like, do I have anything that's that hot of a take? I guess I have Christian Watson over Jamison Williams. I guess it's a little weird. Um, I'm taking him ahead of Romo Dunze and DJ Moore, but I am taking Romo Dunze, and I have him in his own tier above these guys because I think they're more uncertain. I think it's going to be a hot take having Jordan Tyson over Carnell Tate. I don't think that's how the market's going to have it, but that's how I have it. Luther
Oh
Burden.
yeah, absolutely not. There's like some super mega Carnell Tate bulls. Like where did he went 5-5 in this room. So he
Yeah.
went before Devonte Adams and JMO and
Yeah.
Odunze.
Luther Burden behind Mike Evans, Garrett Wilson, Terry McLaurin, Tedero McMillan. I guess that's probably getting hot because I think he's going to keep sliding up with the coverage he's getting. Probably a little controversial to have a Emeka Egbuka with these names, but it's just that's one of my big things this year. I'm extremely high on Emeka Egbuka. And on Yahoo, he's going in the mid 40s, so you don't even have to pay this price. And on Yahoo, actually, Devonta Smith is much cheaper. Zay Flowers is much. Just a tremendous tier of wide receiver twos to pick from this year. Whoever your flavor is, like that's completely fine. I'm just saying it is a tremendous tier. Um, Okay, so Tank Bigsby is a pick that I really like making here. Normally, I'm crushing Jonah Coleman, but with Jonah Coleman, if he hits like his apex range of outcomes, it means that J.K. Dobbins shares are in the toilet. So you don't want to. There's no point in. If I draft Jonah Coleman here and Jonah Coleman hits, it means my roster failed in a pretty profound way. Okay, good. There goes my boy. Okay, so that'll be Dylan Sampson then here, and we'll see. Yeah, I don't really like any of these other receiver or running backs enough to pull them up. I'm not a Sharbs drafter, although Sharbs is like sounds like he's going to be ready way sooner than the market's been pricing in. I don't even have a good stack to go for. Well, I guess I could. So I guess I could just go. I dude that tight end room's so good. I'd rather float a 0 week on week 10 than wait. Okay, so Dylan Sampson, that's been like our safety blanket back here. Kenyon Sadiq this late is pretty good. Isaac Tesla has been a regular pick of mine. We'll take Isaac Tesla. Wide receiver 3 for the Detroit Lions. Probably is not going to get a ton of volume this year, but and then the other one I was thinking of was Tank Dell with Stroud.
Well, Tank Dell was in my queue, so I'm happy you didn't do that.
Nice.
I'm not. I'm coping for getting Mendoza here because the run is over at quarterback 3, and I have 2 week 13 buys. So if I don't get Mendoza, we're looking at like a Geno Smith. And oh no, Geno Smith is by week 13. We're looking at like a Jacoby Brissett or Tua QB2. Could even take some. Could take some round 18 Kirk Cousins even.
I hate when if you touch this thing, it'll stop like queuing you. There you go. It'll get you on the current queue. Okay. Yeah, so we're in the 170s here. I do like Sean Tucker a lot as a late round pick. I think it's maybe going to be a little too early to pull. No, it's not going to be too early to pull Braylon Allen. If we get one of these 3 running backs, we'll be nice and happy there. Again, shout out to Indecent Exposure for this lovely tool he has provided us here. Malik Washington, yeah, see, I have 11% Malik Washington in the 16 round. After and again, I actually don't know. I've been trying to chase these down, so I'm not just bullshitting or repeating what the beat is saying. I've been trying to see, like, is this a quote from the coaching staff or is this a quote from, like, a beat writer's opinion? I don't recall where this one came from, but there was that really good blurb on Malik Washington this week. So I would assume his ADP will start to rise precipitously on best ball. I don't think he's going to be like a redraft relevant player, but I think he's going to keep going up in best ball.
I just realized Fernando Mendoza also has a week 13 bye, so I'm just committing to 3 quarterbacks with the same bye. But whatever. Whatever. All right, this guy already has 3 quarterbacks. You can't hurt me anymore. Yeah, that's right. All right, so we take Fernando Mendoza here, and then I could Ferg out, but I'm not gonna Ferg out. I'm gonna take. It's either Malik Washington or. Oh, you know what? No. I know what I'm doing. Um. Oh no.
Auto pick.
Um. Yeah, I ought to pick Malik Washington. I was gonna go down and get Calvin Ridley, but Malik Washington was my second pick, so it's fine.
I think that's fine, dude. I like Malik. I think the risk reward there's pretty good. Did I send you that clip of the fantasy points guys, fantasy guru, the XM host guy who's very funny. He's like an old dude. He's like a curmudgeon-y old guy, you know, who's always cranky about everything. So I kind of like him, you know, like that take. The unk takes are kind of going extinct in the sports media space. So I listen to him a lot. He just goes, God, man, how terrible is Malik Washington? He went on a rant, and he goes, God, guys, can you believe how horrible that football player is? And, like, I'm a Malik fan. I've been drafting him, you know? I'm not, like, a fan of the player necessarily. I'm a fan of the prospect of him this year, you know?
It's more so Malik Washington is like, chances are you'll be the wide receiver 1 on your depth chart.
Yeah.
But it's for a generationally bad passing offense. There goes Ferguson. You weren't able to out Ferg.
Oh, man, I was excited. Okay, so we're going to punt on a tight end 3 unless another one comes around. We're at 15, so we get 2 here and 1 to wrap it up. I would like Ridley. I think I had Wicks in there, but Wicks goes. I like Tucker or Braylon Allen. I have so much more Braylon Allen. I'll take Tucker here as my running back 5. I think that's a pretty good stable because I think Tucker still gets some goal line work this year. We got a really good clarifying statement from the team on Kenny Gainwell versus Bucky Irving, but what we're waiting to hear is why aren't they talking about Tucker at all? Okay. I mean, really, I probably could in this build take Tucker and Braylon Allen instead, but I don't like this. I don't feel good about this room I built here. I don't like this draft in general. I kind of biffed it here. So we will add 1 more receiver in Calvin Ridley, who I don't think should be priced down here, and then we'll take Sean Tucker. Very similar bet to what Braylon Allen is. I just think he's going to score some touchdowns this year. And if Bucky Irving goes down again, he's actually shown he can be. What did he have? Remember that explosion week he had? Was it last year or the year before? He went absolutely nuts. One of those quick fill-in games.
Sean Tucker's usually good for 1 or 2 of those games. It's when Rachaad White is injured and like Bucky's down. Like if Sean Tucker gets full run, like he absolutely can be a monster. Like it's just kind of.
It's not like I'm a fan of it.
How many times are you getting that a year?
Yeah, exactly. It's just something I like to sprinkle in. But Braylon Allen's like very similar in a lot of ways. Okay. Again, what I don't like about this is I like one of those 6-round receivers to fall to the 6-7, and then I'm way more excited about this pick. Mekhi Lemon is just ugh. Michael Wilson I like. Casey Concepcion I really like. Jaden Higgins I'm not a fan of. I got him for the stack. Tesla and Ridley I think are good like last-minute stack on guys. I think what the core of it is, I don't like my rosters when I take a tight end that high. I really don't like my Colston Loveland rosters whenever I take them. And, this is a really high upside tight end room. I get it. I just don't. Hey, what's up? You doing another draft after this? Yes, sir. There is a 2K space. There is a 5-second delay. So if you do want to try to time it and jump into a draft with us, it's going to be kind of weird. I think we can get it, but it's going to be kind of weird. Basically, when we... So how would you compensate for the 5-second delay? Like when you hear the countdown, just go in. Is what I would do.
All right, so I'm going to take one of Yanni's guys, the little Ted Hurst in here.
Whoops, I did not have you up in there. Yeah, Ted Hurst, good pick. Good pick late. Receiver for a elite passing offense. I think elite passing offense.
And then I'm reaching all the way down for Jake Tonges, tight end 3.
Okay, betting on that. Did you see that guy who brilliant monetizing that account so quickly. He monetized the electrical substation account on Twitter, and he put under the video of George Kittle looking good. He said, "We'll see." It's he's talking shit to the Niners players as the electrical substation. Okay.
Dude, the substation, man.
Oh my God.
It might be real. It might be real.
So real quick, this wraps up Ted's draft. Really nice execution of a robust running back start. Ashton Genty, Saquon Barkley, Lad McConkey as your anchor, Josh Jacobs, Lamar Jackson. Really good 3 wide receivers here. You feel really good if you turn it around like that after a 3 wide receiver start, after 3 running back out of your first 4. Thomas, Pierce, Godwin, Pitts, a tight end that the market's really high on. I am not particularly high on, but the upside is certainly there. I mean, he showed he has like 1 of 1 upside. Yeah, so probably take. Well, no, we can't take an Eli Stower stack because that would be another week 10 guy. Do an Evan Ingram. Actually, I kind of am like getting into this idea that Charlie Kolar is the starting tight end for the Chargers.
The vibes are weird around Gadsden.
Yeah, I'm gonna actually keep making, because I think the starting tight end for the Chargers is going to be super valuable this year. I want to keep picking at that and seeing if we can't hit it. Okay, pretty average execution here, I guess. I don't mind any of these. I'm very happy with this first 5, and I'm very happy getting Hurts at the 6-7. I did not like my receiver choices when I came around here. Now, I took what the board gave me, but like Dobbs over Concepcion would have been a big one for me. If I could have gone Dobbs Concepcion here, I would have felt way better. Dobbins, I think, is a fine RB3. Wilson's okay, but Lemon is very shaky to me. I love my tight end room. Goddard, Loveland, Kolar. I think that's pretty good. Like my quarterback room a lot. Whenever I go those high guys, I just sort of take the, QB2 range guy and call it there. Sampson, I'm a fan of. Tesla and Ridley, I think, are good prices here, and Tucker too. It's just not really like a special room. I didn't get any good ADP values to fall. You could have auto drafted this team, honestly. I guess the only good one is getting Loveland as like a basically 5th round pick. Okay, K-Space, we are going to draft another one and possibly another one if Ted's down. We'll see how frisky Ted is feeling. But we're going to certainly do one more. If you want to hop in, throw it in the chat. If not, don't worry about it. We'll get set up. We won't go quite yet. The slow puppy. Oh my God, I saw the slow puppy and thought it was the fast puppy. I was like, dude, are you serious? We already... Okay.
Are you ready?
Wait. Yeah, let's just give it a second. If this dude wants to jump in with us, he's more than welcome to. I don't even know if he's still around, but we'll wait a minute. Any other hot takes? Any other hot takes? Any other hot takes? I guess I have Jordan Addison at 45. That's weird. Maybe that's a little lower than he should be. Have Justin.
You're very low on Rashee Rice. I noticed Rashee Rice is lower in your rankings than I would have him. To me, I would prefer Rice over Neighbors, Pickens, and Devontae.
Okay.
And I'd have him in that back end wide receiver 1.
All right, bro is not responding. I have to click confirm after this, right? So we can get ready and then you can count us down? Okay. Okay, count it down.
3, 2, 1, go. Click the button.
I'm on a delay.
I think you...
No, I'm on a delay on that. I clicked it when you said go. I think we're good.
I think... I don't know. It was pretty full by the time I got in. Let's see.
Yep, next to each other.
Oh, drafted right next to each other.
All right, that's awesome. Okay, so that's funny because either I'm getting Amon Ra or Ted's not getting Cook. That's how that goes.
That's fine, man. I gotta practice this because it's like the only situation I won't end up with James Cook in a lobby is if you're drafting like exactly right in front of me in this specific spot.
Yeah, also just like we've had it happen a few times, dude, where we end up drafting next to each other. Look at my obscene James Cook exposure because I was going 27% in the first round. That is so irresponsible. I don't know. We'll see. Not a Jonathan Taylor or a Christian McCaffrey fan. What can I say?
Yeah, it's going to be weird here, I think, because if it falls a certain way, I'm either going to have to reach on someone or take someone I don't like, I think. But we'll find out.
Yeah, I'm like a little bit uncomfortable with... I mean, I don't know. I didn't see CeeDee Lamb. So that's another thing that maybe is controversial. Maybe it's not from my write-up. I think CeeDee Lamb is the only receiver that I would take in the first round before the running back cluster. I'm okay with CeeDee Lamb. I'm not taking Justin Jefferson like everyone else is. Seems like CMC is getting serious steam, which is weird because nothing changed. Okay, there goes Amon Ra. So we are going to add more Cook to the pile.
I'll just take Jonathan Taylor. I almost did Jefferson. But God, does that make me sick.
Yeah.
Like, taking Jefferson at the 1-9 has got to be, like, the worst feeling in fantasy football, I think.
Dude, that's for you and I. You and I are the weird ones about Jefferson. The market does not feel that way at all about him. The market is absolutely obsessed with Jefferson. I've been watching him go typically anywhere from 7 to 9 in high stakes, like $300 to $500 buy-ins. I don't know. I don't know, man. I can't. I'm so nervous with that risk profile. We are getting no discount, boys. None. No discount when we found out that the floor is nothing on Jefferson. The floor is 0. If Jefferson can in fact go to 0, and we're paying for it, like there's, it's not gonna be me, man.
You'll like this one, Yanni, because I know you weren't drafting this guy anyways.
Yeah.
Ken Walker.
Yeah, I do like that. I appreciate it.
I have Ken Walker above Achane and Henry. It's not a gap, but it's sizable enough for me where I'm clicking that every time.
There's no way I'm 75% T. Higgins after Derrick Henry. What? I must not have a lot of Derrick Henry is what that has to be, because I haven't been like jamming T. Higgins. That's interesting. Okay, T. Higgins
That probably is what it is.
Yeah, T. Higgins is off the board then. F him.
I also have Achane over Henry. Listen, this is the second I'm fading Henry. I had a good track record of not fading him many years before and profited off of it, and now I've come to the, I guess, decision that I'm fading Henry. So eventually I'll be right. There is no way he just does like, there's no way he retires as a 1,000-yard rusher. Eventually, I'll be right.
I like this turn if you're willing to take on a bunch of, like, if you're like, you know what, I don't care. I know these are two of the most productive assets in fantasy when they're at their best. I'm taking Rashee Rice and Malik Neighbors with Gibbs. That's kind of savage. If that swings the right way with Rice and Neighbors, and then you have Gibbs as your anchor running back, you're gonna run the table. So I do kind of like that. There's some floor there. There is some floor there when you make that kind of decision. I also like this. Like if you're gonna go with either Puka Nacua or Chase, I do think the one time I would go robust wide receiver, because it really cuts you off from the position like where there's all this value in the middle. I think if you get just like 3 studs, that's pretty cool. But I still think I'd be taking like a Love, a Hall, or a Jacobs up here before I'm taking these guys. If I got like a Chase and Collins, which is a really strong start, or a Chase and London, I think I'd rather anchor that down with a running back there. Okay. Okay, so as we planted the flag on it, and I continue to do, Emeka Egbuka is my favorite guy in this price range, and apparently I have 75% T. Higgins here, so that's a pretty good plant guy. 32 picking right at ADP, just like a loser, but that's okay.
I'll just take the T. Higgins here.
I like T. Higgins a lot, man. I am not like sick of. I think the market is just bored with T. Higgins constantly being in the ADP range he goes, so they're like not, he doesn't get hyped up or anything. I like T. Higgins a lot, dude. So I know I have a lot of Terry McLaurin with Emeka Egbuka. Yeah, so that's a lot of Terry McLaurin. Again, shout out to Indecent Exposure, tracking my stuff for me, man. How are we feeling about Tedero and McMillan these days? The camp videos are sick. The camp videos are sick, but ultimately Bryce Young averages 188 yards a game passing in the most pass-happy era of the NFL in history, and they have 2 offensive tackles down. I don't know how I feel about it.
Yeah, man, it's the same issue as last year. Like it's not any different to me. I think Tedero McMillan's a fantastic player. It's just that
Yeah.
Bryce is his quarterback. So I'll do some 4-4 Josh Jacobs here.
God damn it.
I do prefer him to the wide receiver cluster. Even though I love drafting wide receiver here, I think a lot of these guys are going to be awesome picks at ADP. We'll
So
just get the robust RB room in.
I have taken like so much Terry up at this price. You know what? No, we're going to take another one. Screw it. We don't have any in this tournament. I think Terry is a fringe wide receiver 1 this year. You can't have him that high in rankings. It's hard to get him that high. But then what I really like about it, it opens up round 6 Jaden Daniels, who to me is totally mispriced in best ball. If you want to say in redraft, like it's a little too risky for me because he goes at the 4 or 5 turn, I get it. In best ball in round 6 to throw like a dude who very well could be the quarterback 1 in points per game this year, I find that to be a very easy click for me to make personally.
I will say the good part about being on this side of the snake is the guy who drafted Chase at the 1-3. I'll have the opportunity first to correlate with Burrow at the 6-4. So unless he goes way up to the 5-2 to get Burrow, I get him.
Some guys do.
Assuming there isn't some maniac that just goes uncorrelated Burrow.
Some guys do. There's a guy who drafts every single $500+ draft I've watched Liam Murphy do. There's this one guy in there who has to be like a crypto bro or something, and he just sits there and rips them all day. So he's in every single random draft I've ever seen from that one YouTuber do, and he always takes, that is his favorite move, is to take Jamar Chase in the top 3 and then take Joe Burrow in the 4 or 5 turn, which I don't know if I would, he said like, that's like his high stakes portfolio. He does it every single draft that I've seen him draft there. It's a very bizarre.
ETN falling to almost the 5th round is insane, by the way. If I didn't take Jacobs, I would have just taken ETN. Like, that's the only reason I didn't get ETN is that I preferred Jacobs slightly more. And then the next 6 guys don't draft Travis Etienne. That's too much.
So this is where, despite all the debate about what Burden is or isn't, this is the price where you should be ripping him. In here, when this tier of guys is gone, this is where I'm ripping Burden and where I think he could be a league winner because he's your 5th guy as your flex. I am not taking him at the 3-4 turn where I often see him going right now. That's just way too soon, dude. It's way too bullish. I'm not taking him over 4 guys who have all finished as wide receiver 1s in their careers. Like, that's just not happening. Let someone else be the first through the door there. So David Montgomery would be a great 3rd receiver to tack on here. David Montgomery goes. I like the price on. I don't take him a ton over these guys, but I do really like that price on Devontae Adams. I prefer Christian Watson, I think, in a vacuum, or at least they're right next to each other. But we're gonna take Devontae Adams and throw him.
Scumbag. Ugh. I hate you.
Yeah, man. Hey, drafting back to back. Okay.
Yeah, this is ass. I'm gonna take Roman Dunze because I have him higher than Christian Watson. I don't care.
I think that's perfect. I actually have Roma Dunze higher than Christian Watson too. I tend to bet on Christian Watson in formats like this, especially. Okay, Jaden Daniels. I completely forgot what I was saying that we got reports on someone that I was excited about, and it shows how excited I am about them because I now don't remember who we were discussing. The Buccaneers backfield. So Kenny Gainwell is lining up as like a slot and move guy, and they're getting him on the field with Bucky Irving. So it looks like the split is about what we were expecting. Bucky on 1st and 2nd down, Gainwell on receiving downs, but I don't know. I think Bucky has the capacity to pull some work away from Gainwell in the past because they're trying to get him on the field together, which is noteworthy to me. Okay, so we love Jordan Tyson here. We do. I love the price tag on Brian Thomas Jr. here. I do. But the chance to stack Jaden and Terry is something I've been taking whenever I can because I do. I don't think that's the proper price for elite quarterback. I really don't. I think Jaden has QB1 overall upside this year. Just needs to stay healthy. The last time we saw him play a full season, he was excellent. Last year it was pretty up and down. Has a way better offense this year. I'm very, very happy with this start. If I go Jaden Daniels, James Cook, Derrick Henry, Emeka Egbuka, Terry McLaurin, Devontae Adams, that's pretty sweet. Let's swing around and see who Ted followed that up with or got before. So I didn't notice. I totally would have called it out. Excellent stack Ted gets there with T. Higgins and Roma Dunze. I think Roma Dunze very well could be certainly a top 24 receiver this year, but like one of my favorite things in fantasy or in football is once a guy shows a skill, he owns it. Roma Dunze did demonstrate that he can, in fact, be a top-end wide receiver one. Like, he looked like a league winner through 5 or 6 weeks last year. So if you tack down your wide receiver room with this, and then especially in redraft, the kind of guys you can swing around and build, I think that's a pretty damn good start. I like what Ted has been doing. I'm very happy with this. This would totally be a room that I would build. And even though I don't take quarterback high, I probably would have taken a receiver there. Totally would have jumped. Totally would start with this. Quentin Johnston.
Yeah,
got a little high.
This is the issue drafting next to you because I wanted Cook, you took him. I wanted Egbuka, you took him.
You're a Terry guy
I wanted
too.
Adams, you took him.
Yeah.
Yep. But for me, like I wasn't leaving Terry there when Jacobs was there, right? So
Yeah.
It's kind of changing the way I have to build it, but that's fine. I know the next guy in your queue, I'm not even looking, but I can almost tell I'm not going to get him.
Yeah, it's gonna depend. There's 2 guys here that I'm looking at, but we're both very high on very similar guys. It just is the way it goes when you spend hundreds and hundreds of hours talking to one of your best friends all the time about fantasy. You end up drafting incredibly similarly. As is going to happen here.
Look at it.
Yeah, as is going to happen here with a very sad Theodore. We
Yeah.
get Tucker Kraft at pick 80. I love that the fantasy community is still nervous about Tucker Kraft. Tucker Kraft is a damn good pick, dude. I'm not nervous about that at all. I'm happy to continue to make that bet.
I'm taking DK Metcalf.
That's fine.
I clicked Makai Lemon. Never mind.
Oh no. Oh no!
Who would you prefer, Makai Lemon or DK Metcalf? I had him queued over him because I was thinking that was going to be better, but then my eye caught DK.
I have DK higher in the rankings. I think. Oh, that's a tough one, bro. That is a tough one.
I think it's very close, and I could just get DK Metcalf here on the way back, but I don't know if I prefer that or Godwin.
Again, that's very close for me. I have Godwin. I had Godwin in the tier before I got to DK, but I do have them next to each other.
Yeah, I get my pick here. You know what I'm actually gonna do?
You're debating.
I need to catch up at wide receiver.
Debating.
I was debating Laporta.
Yeah. Okay, So my queue was Godwin then DK. So I will take DK there at a pretty nice slide, a 13 pick past ADP slide. That's pretty good. Building a very nice and comfy wide receiver room. So I love to get Baker with Egbuka, but let's see what my shot range here is going to be. Especially when Baker is swearing to take revenge on the entire NFL. I just love it. Me and Baker, man, our financial futures are going to be decided this year by how he performs on the field. So, okay, we will aim for Baker at 113, assuming no one in this draft knows that I'm planning for Baker at 113. We should be fine. You're not a Baker guy. You don't like Baker, but
I have Chris Godwin, my friend. You might want to
reconsider
where you're drafting him.
Oh fuck! Well, no collusion. If you're gonna take him, you got to take him ahead of me. That's the way life goes. We're gonna watch Best Ball or watch Underdog sue us for like $800,000 over a $5 draft. It's probably some weird clause about fraud that we've now hit.
Well, I'm just saying that if you want Baker, I would suggest taking him at 104.
That's collusion. I don't want to hear that. I didn't hear that. I don't know what you're thinking. I bet you there are people who unironically are trying to rig these rooms. I would actually almost guarantee you. Maybe not for $5, but I bet you like on the $500 ones, there's some weird.
I feel like rigging it implies that you're doing something you wouldn't already do.
Yeah,
Like
that's
I
what I'm
would
saying.
just take Baker. Yeah.
Can you not, please? That would be a cool thing if you didn't do that.
Yeah, well, you're drafting next, so you have an opportunity.
Yeah.
How high did Brooks win in the 7th round? Okay. All right, guys.
I hate leaving three. Oh no. Well, no, we're not going to do that. Okay, so I was about to say that. Oh no. Okay, so for me it's White and Dobbins here, and Dobbins is obviously profiles way better than White, but White has the stack with Jaden Daniels, and let's say that he does get the starting role there. All of a sudden, him and Jaden are going to be catching a lot of passes between one another. So we're going to take the guy we like less in White as our RB3 because it stacks. Pretty nice balanced build here. Let's go see what Ted is doing.
No, 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 no! I'm gonna auto pick because my there's a certain umbrella that just booted me from the lobby. So I
Go on your
had
phone.
Harold Fannin there.
Get on your phone. You have Harold
Oh,
Fannin. You got him. Get on your phone.
no, no, you don't. You don't understand what's going
Oh.
on.
Oh no. Okay.
Hold on.
You're good. I'll count you down. You can swing back around and get in time. Man.
Well, you might get Baker if this thing doesn't work out.
Oh, cool. All right.
Okay, hold on. Oh my God, this is a disaster. Got a fellow coworker asking me if I watched the Anthony Fauci hearing.
Yeah. All right. Well, 2 picks.
Yeah, I'm hustling, man.
One pick. You're up.
Bang!
Okay, so Ted does get it in, but luckily we have a backup here. We can go Matt Stafford to stack with Devontae Adams. Okay, God, dude, my allergies are killing me. Okay, that actually opens up one of our favorites, Terrence Ferguson late stack. Let's go. Sort of a funky balanced build here. I'm going to call it at 2 quarterbacks there. I have no need to go get a third. We have Terrence Ferguson late if we don't end up pulling any favorable guys here the rest of the way for tight end.
If I didn't go robust RB, I would have taken Dobbins there, and you would have gotten your Baker.
Yeah. Dobbins is like way too. I don't know why he's sliding like that. I don't think that's an appropriate price tag at all for him.
So what just happened there? I didn't have very many words for that because I was panicking trying to get back in.
Mm-hmm.
But the my company monitored device umbrella went off for Underdog and blocked me from the website. Is what happened. So I had to get on the VPN and then get off the VPN because for whatever reason resetting the VPN gets rid of the umbrella.
Well, I think you have a pretty spectacular draft going here. Really like your quarterback room. I'm not a Lemon guy, but obviously that was an accident. But still very
Well,
good.
no, you know what? I had Lemon in my queue higher, and for whatever reason, I was honed in on DK Metcalf. Like to me, it was my queue was Lemon, Godwin, and Metcalf in that order. But I saw DK, and I was like, I'm gonna draft DK, and then I clicked Lemon. But that's fine. Like, I just didn't get to do my last second change. I went with my original strategy.
Okay, we're on the clock. Kind of want a bigger swing here than Chris Rodriguez, unless there's any. Actually, no. We're going to do Shaheed because we have a double hero start plus a third running back. Even though I love the Chris Rodriguez and Tyron Tracy Price, maybe one of them comes back to us. Um, I really keep drafting an irresponsible amount of Rashid Shaheed. I think he's going to have real spike weeks this year. They could have kept Kenneth Walker or Shaheed after Kenneth Walker was a monster in the playoffs and won Super Bowl MVP, and they didn't. To me, that means that coaching staff really values Shaheed, and I think that's a pretty easy like follow the money type argument there. So we are doing it.
Um, yeah, I got to catch up at wide receiver. I would be really interested in some Chris Rodriguez here, but I can't do that. Jalen McMillan would correlate, but I want Stribling.
Stribs. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So we are pretty well past ADP on Rodriguez now. I like Omar Cooper a lot at price, but I actually think I want like a bigger swing because of the way my room is built. I don't really care about floors, so we're going to take Tyron Tracy Jr. I continue to be very nervous for Cam Scadaboo about the direction of the reporting. It is about directionality when we are looking for things. We don't know. We don't have any direct insight into what they're thinking. But again, been linked to 3 or 4 free agent or big name running backs. They have now twice this week on 2 separate days said we're still trying to figure out what our split between the two looks like. The beat is saying it's clearly Cam Scadaboo, but that's not what the coaching staff and front office are saying. You have a running back there that's had 1,000 yards in back-to-back seasons. It is becoming a thing where I'm getting a little squeamish with Cam at cost. I still think he will be a league winner if you get what you got last year. If he comes out and does what he does last year with a Greg Roman rushing scheme, he's going to go for like 1,300 yards and 8 or 9 touchdowns, like, and probably 60 catches, like be a top 12 running back. I just there's a lot of risk with the way that team is discussing him now. That's kind of freaking me out, and it's making Tyron Tracy one of my jam guys down at this range now. Dallas
Yeah,
Goddard
it's
with
interesting.
Jalen Hurts late.
I was drafting a lot more Tyron Tracy early, and then I started getting into guys like Charbonnet, Woody Marks, who both went, so I won't be having them on my team. But yeah, I thought that was kind of interesting. But because I got Josh Jacobs as my RB3, like in the last 2 drafts, I've been able to kind of like put off the RB4.
So yeah, dude, it doesn't matter. Your RB4 should not. The roster is not going to win any money here if you're taking scores from an RB4. Almost certainly, it's just good to have one, like in case you get a weird down week. But I'm totally cool.
Or
with
you hit on a late round running back that just pops off,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
And
yeah,
it covers for injury. I'm not as like you like to build more fragile rosters. I like to build at
yeah.
least on this platform. I definitely think my benches aren't as good in
uh,
redraft for sure because I'm doing stuff like taking a second quarterback.
yeah. I mean, yeah. We also though. I mean, we've gone back and forth about it a lot, right? Our different styles. Oh, come on, give me my boy here late. Oh, F word, not swearing, keeping it family friendly. Ruff. Um, okay, we'll just let it auto Brenton Strange. That's okay. I was going to look at a receiver, but I do really like Brenton Strange. I like having a pretty strong. Is it really not going to auto Brenton Strange now? Okay. Auto's Brenton Strange. I like having a strong tight end room. My problem there, my hesitation there was I like Ferguson so much late, but I feel good about running back and I feel really pretty good about receiver. So why not make sure we have a beefy tight end room? Brenton Strange is another one that I don't think is getting like a proper amount of press for how much apparently Trevor Lawrence seems to like him. So I kind of want to keep making bets there.
I'm starting to click Tyler Algier more too, because I am getting lower on Jeremiah Love. Like
Mm-hmm.
some almost round 14 Tyler Algier sounds kind of interesting to me.
Mm-hmm. That's a good correlated pick, dude. Like if you don't if you pass up on Love, you should double down on your bet and assume that Algier matters more. So Ted comes around with Stribling, Travis Kelsey, big pot-bellied Kelsey. Did you see the videos of him this week? Still like Kelsey, but it's very funny. He's got a dad bod going. And then I think Stribling is going to be. I think in redraft, Stribling is an interesting pick, dude. I'm kind of hoping the Debo smoke throws people off a little bit. I think the organization really likes Stribling. I still think Debo will get his touches. I think that's going to be a real thing this year. The Stribs usage.
Got sniped on Denzel Boston. So I'll just take my vitamins and take Jawan Johnson. Second draft in a row I've taken Jawan Johnson. I'm not particularly high on the player, but I'm just done with tight end now, which is good.
Yeah, so I'll go Trey Tucker past ADP. I like him for some spike weeks. Certainly a spike week player. I'm just pretty happy with like my build all around here. I just need to see when am I going to have a chance at 185 Terrence Ferguson. So this would be a time to decide, do I reach on Terrence Ferguson? Like how much do I want to flag plant that take? It may well come down to what Alvin Kamara and Dylan Sampson do here. I don't know, man. I'm pretty excited about Terrence Ferguson with what the coaching staff is saying. I've mentioned it every time I say it. I do not trust Sean Payton as far as I can throw him.
Yep. He's dubbed Jalen Waddle is
Sean
the Joker.
McVay. I'm sorry, Sean McVay. I do not trust Sean McVay. No, yeah, my bad. Sean McVay will just say like, this guy's a generational talent. He's going to be a centerpiece of our offense, and then not use him for weeks. Like that seems to be something that's happened a lot since I've been trying to pick Rams players. So, you know.
Again, so down here, if I'm taking a third quarterback, the only one I'm taking at this price range is Fernando Mendoza. Otherwise, I am just a 2-quarterback roster, which I'm fine with.
I think it would be overkill for me to take Alvin Kamara is who I want to take. If I take him at this range, I think that's a little bit overkill. But I think it's such a good price on him because I do think he gets a lot of work this year, and that's a round past ADP. So that's a really strong running back room now. James Cook, Derrick Henry, Rashad White, Tyron Tracy Jr., Alvin Kamara. Quarterback room, very strong. Jaden Daniels, Matthew Stafford. And then my wide receiver room I'm very happy with. There's obviously a tight end we'd love to come around and get here if possible. If not, it happens. We will move on with grace and dignity, but I'll be kind of sad about it. Kate Otten is also a favorite down here at cost.
Oh yeah, I could have taken Kate Otten and correlated, but
So my thought with Jawan Johnson there is that I'm more interested in shopping the wide receivers at this range.
Mm-hmm.
That was kind of my thought process there. Maybe it wasn't perfect, but that's fine. And then if we survive one pick, we get a Fernando Mendoza, which I'd be happy with. The other guy, my queue is just Mendoza and Ridley. I'm going to take Mendoza because that is the last call on quarterbacks. Every other one is, in my opinion, low upside.
So obviously Ted did not need this, but I am thrilled to get a mid-180s Terrence Ferguson to finish off a very strong tight end room. That's actually why I was hesitant to take Strange. I love that, though. Kraft, Brenton Strange, Terrence Ferguson. Very happy with my first 4 receivers, and I think these 2 dudes are just spike week all over in Rashid and Trey Tucker. And then running back room, I'm happy. This is like exactly how I prefer to build a draft if I'm going to build. So here is what it looks like. James Cook, Derrick Henry, Emeka Egbuka, Terry McLaurin, Devontae Adams, Jaden Daniels, Tucker Kraft, DK Metcalf, White, Stafford, Shaheed, Tracy Jr., Strange, Tucker, Kamara, Ferguson. Again, obviously it's a subjective thing. Everyone likes their drafts more than other people's. That's why they draft like that. But I'm pretty honest when I feel like I didn't do my best work. I feel like that is about as good of a draft as I could have had so far. I don't like this one as much as Ted's other one, but I'm such a fan of the 3 running back start and then catching up, and he did a great job here. Again, Lemon is like a guy that I think will probably be productive this year. I just don't know when. you know, and I don't know. There's some weirdness there, but I still think he's a quality pick at cost. And then Godwin, I think, is a great value, and then you get the Godwin Baker stack. Fannin Jr., I think, is an excellent value at cost. Stribling, I was just saying how high I am. Very strong tight end room. Algier's a good bet. I just don't know, like, I think it's a good bet. I just don't know what it's going to be worth ultimately. Juwan Johnson past ADP, very good price. Tank Dell, great value. Mendoza, is that an uncorrelated Mendoza? Just a little, yeah, okay.
Yep.
Just a little bit of QB upside there.
Yeah, man, I'm not nearly as fragile. I don't like the fragile quarterback room. Like, unless I'm drafting, first of all, Joe Burrow is my quarterback one, who is the definition of a fragile quarterback. So
Yeah.
I don't, like, to me, I want to build a 3 quarterback roster there. And then, like, when you're getting in Geno Smith, Jacoby Brissett, like Tug Watson, Bryce Young, Tua territory, like, there's only one quarterback that I think, like, could actually be really good this year, and it is Mendoza. So I will happily pay, like, the 16th round price. I'm missing out on Cavante Turpin and Eric Johnson and Jaden Blue to make that pick. I think that what that value could be is far more important than a Mike Washington.
After Terrence Ferguson, Elijah Shred, Damon Claiborne. Round 17 history, yeah, 14% Terrence Ferguson in round 17. I am proud of that, fellas. I am proud of that. Okay. Okay, decision gets made for us. We're taking a late round Calvin Ridley, much to Ted's chagrin.
Yeah, it's really annoying. So I'm gonna just take a Ted Hurst with my Baker Mayfield.
That's great. Hey, man. I think Ridley probably gets traded. I was actually going to, before the Niners went and got Deebo Samuel, I was asking the 49ers Hub guys to let me write an article on who they should go get, and I was going to include Calvin Ridley in trade targets. I was going to say they should shoot an offer for Ridley or Judy, see if either of them might be available. I'm pretty interested by the report that Pat Bryant has a chance to outright jump Cortland Sutton on the depth chart this year. Apparently, the Broncos are concerned with keeping Cortland Sutton healthy for the playoffs. That's sort of interesting to me. I think Pat Bryant becomes a guy with like real upside here later then, if that's the case. Keenan Allen, it sounds like, has an offer on the table from the Colts. He's just trying to decide if he wants to play for the Colts or not, which is funny. That's another one that I just keep jamming back here now because that's pretty cool. I don't know if there's any other. Are there any late stacks here? Not really.
I'm seeing Cyrus Allen go off boards. I'm kind of out on the Cyrus Allen idea.
I don't know. It's worth taking your swings.
He just feels very Jalen Royals to me. Like, there's always a Chiefs rookie that gets steam and goes nowhere. I'm finishing off this draft with Braylon Allen.
Braylon Allen, dude, I'm 10 toes down on that being a cool pick this year. I like that pick. Okay, so we're going to do Keenan. Continues to be someone we're taking cheap here. Like I said, this is really like exactly how I philosophically like to build rooms. I do fragile quarterback. I'm looking to get my upside elsewhere. It's just my philosophy. I know that's not the meta right now, but that's what I do. Jaden Daniels and Matt Stafford, James Cook, Derrick Henry, Rashad Wright, Tyron Tracy Jr., Alvin Kamara. And then for the wide receivers, my big flag plant at current ADP is Emeka Egbuka, Terry McLaurin, Devontae Adams, DK Metcalf, Rashid Shaheed, Trey Tucker, Calvin Ridley, Keenan Allen. And then tight end, very strong tight end room. Again, a bunch of favorites of mine this year. These are like all my guys. Tucker Kraft, Brenton Strange, Terrence Ferguson. Let's go back and see how Ted wrapped things up. Oh, God, it bounces back and forth within. Okay, we're going to go in here. Ted right here, right next to me. FTF Ted. Brian, Jonathan Taylor, Kenneth Walker. Again, I'm not a Kenneth Walker guy, but the market loves him so much. I think he has like 20 point per game ceiling if he hits it. I just don't like paying for it. Like, he's for sure got all these things going for him that I don't think are a guarantee. But like, the Sharps love him. The Sharps are saying Kenneth Walker should be a first round pick. So if you start off with Jonathan Taylor, Kenneth Walker, you're lit. Higgins, I think, continues to be one of the most disrespected assets in fantasy, as does Josh Jacobs. So really, really strong for a start there, even if they're not necessarily my guys this year. Roma Dunze, disrespected criminally, 10th or 9th overall pick. Joe Burrow, Mekhi Lemon, Chris Godwin, Harold Fannin Jr., Baker Mayfield, Travis Kelce, Stribbs, Algier, Johnson, Dell, Mendoza, Ted Hurst with the stack late with Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield's ex-receiver in the second to last round, and Braylon Allen continues to be one of the best values in drafts. Okay, Ted, we're kind of celebrating the fast puppy getting going. Do you want to cut it at 2 or you want to do another one? It's up to you, but I'm all excited. I kind of want to rip one more. But it's okay if you got to go. I know you have stuff to do.
Let's do one more. Yeah, I can't take Chef for a walk for another like 2 hours, bro.
All right, you didn't sound excited about it, but we'll do it.
Well, dude, that sucked, man. I got like.
I'm sorry.
The one that hurt the most to me was because Devontae Adams is a tier break for me.
Yeah.
Like I have him well ahead. I just think he's a fundamentally better player and a better pick than like that end of round 5 wide receiver tier. So I just kind of got forced into it. All right, you ready, buddy?
I'm ready to click confirm. You count us down.
All right, 3, 2, 1, go.
Waiting for 4 people. I think we nailed it again.
Yep.
And then we will. So it does look like you just refresh the indecent exposure, and then it gets rolling. We'll wait for the draft to fill, but there you go. It does get it rolling. Yeah. So I do have that. I don't have a tier break with him, but I do have him at the front of the because he's ADP about 25. I have him at the front of the tier here. I have Christian Watson right behind him though. And then I do have a tier break between Rome Odunze and Parker Washington because they're different risks.
Dude, look at the draft order.
8, 9.
Just a glutton for punishment. It's the same thing.
Yes. It's okay. That luckily, I don't want to keep just dumping ridiculous amounts of money on Cook. You know what? We're gonna go a little. Is Chef messing with you? I hear you creepily whispering into the microphone. Okay, that's okay. Good.
Yeah, he's shoving his nose into like my area.
Yeah, he's ready to hang out.
Wanting attention. He heard his name is what it is.
Okay, so we'll do a little bit different start here. Oh God, no, not AJ Brown. Although I actually don't hate people who take AJ Brown this high. We'll see if we can't get a Amon-Ra St. Brown or CeeDee Lamb start here. See how we build around that, because again, I have such an obscene amount of James Cook. What I'm worried is going to happen is James Cook is going to get injured, and it's going to derail my mental health. I'm not as worried about James Cook's prospects in fantasy. I just don't like crashing out that hard. It's not a great experience. Now, you've been, for most of this year, you have been a 10 toes down guy on Jamar Chase over Puka Nacua, if I recall. I've asked you a few times. You said it every time. Are you still ripping Jamar Chase over Puka? And you actually made a great point that I meant to put in the article. I should put in the article. I'm on the clock. Okay. Yeah, we're going to go with a CeeDee Lamb start here. Haven't done it much this year. Probably should start. We're going to leverage that running back depth in the early 4th round. Or in the mid-3rd.
Appreciate that.
So get some James Cook in the boat.
There you go. I think besides Amon-Ra and JSN, I think CeeDee Lamb's the only receiver I'm taking first round if I'm going to go there. I don't know. I can't imagine what you're thinking. I mean, well, I guess your thinking is just talent, right? I personally am not the kind of person that would take Jefferson over Lamb because the context around Lamb is just so much better. Who's throwing him the ball, a terrible defense as opposed to a very good one. I don't know, man. That's an easy
I mean, to me, it's clear as day that Jefferson is significantly better at football than CeeDee Lamb is. But yeah, he's just a victim of 2-3 Brock Bowers. So I get Omari and Hampton. Okay.
Enjoy that. That would have been my guy. Okay. God, dude, the back-to-back thing. Can't wait till we're doing this on a free Tendies Fantasy League stream or redraft stream. Okay, we took Derrick Henry last time. We'll take Chase Brown this time. I think Chase Brown probably has a little bit more upside. That's an interesting start. It's not a start I go with a lot because I'm usually an RB guy. CeeDee Lamb, Chase Brown, I think it's fine. I still very much prefer, that would have been Cook, Chase Brown, or Cook, Henry. I think that's such a better start personally. We'll see if we can pull it out. You kind of need a running back to fall in round 4 to get even with it. And they're running backs that aren't going to be there in redraft is part of why I don't like it as much. I do not believe, barring a non-suspension, Josh Jacobs is there. I think he's going to be 25, pick 30. Maybe if the news keeps getting terrible, you might be able to get Jeremiah Love at the 3-4 turn, in which case I'll be taking a lot of Jeremiah Love.
I'm
Col-
adding guys to queue, and they just
yeah.
go the second I add them.
Collins creeping up boards, dude. He's been like around 20 now. I wonder if the market sentiment is starting to be that he's the safer pick of those back end wide receiver ones. He should be. He should be going up there, I think.
Like, to me, I would prefer Collins to Pickens for sure.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm assuming Rice or not Rice, Neighbors too. You're taking Collins over Neighbors pretty comfortably.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, that is lit though. I think if you can do that, that's awesome. I don't think that's gonna be possible come redraft season, but Gibbs, Neighbors, London, it's cool. I would rip that. I would not rip that. I would not rip Kyron Williams at 26, sir.
Well, Drake London's just never really been. I don't know. He's one of the guys that, like, we all see something that we like about him, right? And he has flashes every year, but he just hasn't really put together that full season yet. So, like, if you were saying I'm drafting George, if you were saying I'm drafting Rashid Rice from Malik Neighbors over Drake London, I don't blame you. I don't think that's as much of a slam dunk pick as everyone seems to think. So there's one pick here I'm very excited about if he actually falls to me. I don't think you'd take him, but we got to get through two other guys too. There he goes. I wanted some McBride because I thought for sure you weren't taking him.
Nope. I'm gonna take Zay Flowers. I like the way the news is going with Zay.
Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take Josh Allen here. I'm pulling up Josh Allen because even though I like Ladd and I like Tet, the idea is that I get into the Jalen Waddle and Terry range here on the way back.
You totally will. That's actually what made me nervous about leaving Brees on the board there was I knew a wide receiver is going to be coming back to me. I cannot guarantee that a running back I like comes back to me. We will see if my heart gets broken here. I do kind of like that's like a funky start. A Jonathan Taylor, Bowers, Brees Hall, and if he takes my boy here, it's going to be a heartbreaking start. But I would take him there if you're going to go with it. If you're going to go zero wide receiver, go zero wide receiver. No, he doesn't. He anchors. Let's see what Ted does.
Very frustrated by that. I'm gonna just take Terry.
Okay, it takes Terry, and we get our boy back here, who I keep drafting in Josh Jacobs. So I'm extremely happy with that start. I think you should be leveraging some of this depending on what your draft rooms look like, where if you can get a CeeDee Lamb and then an anchor running back and then come around and still get one of who I called the pseudo RB1s, that tier of guys, I'm pretty happy with that. That's a cool start for me. Chase Brown, Josh Jacobs, CeeDee Lamb, Zay Flowers. I don't know, man. I'm not seeing what is making people so skittish about Jacobs. I'm really not. I know the community's super down on him. I think that's like a market inefficiency we should continue to exploit all year. What starts are you liking here? What do you think about taking Joe Burrow 20 above ADP to double stack him with with Higgins and Jays? I don't know about that.
Yeah, Big's tax. I think that no, it's Big's taxes.
Mm-hmm.
I think that he could have taken Burrow at the 5-3.
Yeah, that's probably
if
it,
he
right?
really wanted him. Yeah. He was not taking that chance though.
Swift. I mean,
By the way,
fine.
I like that this room is collectively rejecting Colston Loveland propaganda here.
It's funny. I'm not a Colston Loveland guy, but that's a tremendous value on him.
Yep, that's about where I'd take him. Like, I think that's a good price. Like when you're getting into like the 4.8, 4.9 section, I think that's too much. But once you come around on the 5th round, then I think it's fine to take the shot.
Yeah, I'm very happy with this tier. I really do. I'm comfortable with this tier of wide receiver quite a bit. I'm just not a JMO Williams guy outside of best ball, but in best ball, I'll take some JMO Williams. Probably still have to take Adams over him. Okay, so I don't know why Tate is in my queue. That's a Christian Watson pull. I don't take a lot of Jameson Williams just in general, but I will take some Jameson Williams. Oh no, I didn't. Just left Lamar Jackson stacked on the board with Zay Flowers because I didn't open my queue up all the way. I had my queue set to running back, wide receiver. Okay, maybe someone gives me Lamar on the comeback. That was a mistake. Damn it.
Well, I took DJ Moore there just to stack with Josh Allen. I would take a Dunze or Christian Watson over DJ Moore without the correlation factor. But that's just not what we were doing.
There goes Lamar at the turn. Yeah. Oh, that was such a rookie move, dude. I didn't have my queue. I had my draft board open with with running back and wide receiver, and there goes Parker Washington. And if Tyson goes here, I'm going to be just absolutely sad. All right.
Got some bad news for you, buddy.
Okay. Just do it.
Yeah, I'm doing it. Sorry.
Yep. Okay.
It was almost Tyler Warren for me there.
Yeah, I do like I think Tyler Warren's a great value here. I think he's like the diet Brock Bowers, but we're going to take Marvin Harrison Jr. Keep us really strong at wide receiver here through the start. 2-4 start. You know, I am bummed about, especially because I could have just turned around and taken Marvin Harrison Jr. as my wide receiver 3. But that's okay. Nothing to do about it. Mistake. They happen.
I mean, for me, Harrison and Tyson are pretty close. Like that was a genuine coin flip to me. I prefer them both to Parker Washington, probably. So you didn't want that anyways. You didn't want Carnell Tate. So like that guy did us a favor by taking him.
No, not a Carnell Tate guy. Not that I'm not. I don't want to say I'm not a Carnell Tate guy. I'm not a Carnell Tate over Tyson guy though. Certainly. No.
I'll say I'm not a Carnell Tate guy. Yeah, that's fine with me. It has nothing to do with him. It has to do with the Titans passing offense. Like, I don't know why you would bullishly invest in that because they showed no signs of being anywhere good enough last year. So I just kind of, it's tough for me to understand.
Yeah, well, that's why I'm taking the arbitrage play there, and I'm just taking some Wandale, like where I can. Because to me, it's way cheaper. He's gotten 280 targets over 2 years. He's technically the third best target getter in the NFL currently, behind like Jamar Chase and forget who the other guy is. Like he's to me, I'll just bet on that. And I think Ward has serious like issues pushing the ball downfield. I'm happy to just do that and let Carnell Tate do his thing. What I hit on in the article between Tate and Tyson, because I know it's going to be a hot take that I'm taking Tyson over Tate, and I know it's going to be a hot take that I'm aggressively forcing Tyson in the 7th round. You've seen what I've done the last few years. 40%, 50% Malik Neighbors, 40%, 50% Ladd, 40%, 50% BTJ, 75% Tedero McMillan. I continue to jam these rookie wide receivers when I feel like one of them is a true edge. And I think Tate is that guy this year, or I think Tyson is that guy this year, and I'm going to take him every time in the 7th round. Where if I don't have a build that calls for it, I'm not going to like be weird about it. I'm probably going to end up with 50 to 60% Tyson in the 7th round, and I'm going to sleep like a baby about it. Yes, DEEQ105, I guess D. Yes, dude. I know that quarterback is the easiest points to replace. Okay, so. God, dude, do we just go with an unstacked? Okay, so he goes there. I like Jalen Warren here a little bit, but I'm angling for a. I'm tired of taking Tucker. I take a lot of Tucker Kraft up here, right? So, and I want to come around and get Jared Goff with the JMO Williams to anchor my room. So I'm going to take Sam Laporta ahead of ADP, certainly. But we're going to try to come around at 104.
It took me about 1 second to send in that Tucker Kraft pick.
Yeah.
Right after.
Yeah, I think that's fine. I like Tucker Kraft
I thought that's where you were going.
No, I like Tucker Kraft a little bit more. But I like to build out a little Jared Goff room here if I'm going to go for Oh my God, I did it again. Dak was on the board. Okay, so if Dak... Dude, that's so funny. I think I'm just...
I'm not taking Dak, so you can have him.
Yeah, I think I'm just so... Well, yeah, you got one more guy to go. I think I'm just so excited about the puppy being open again that I'm not setting my actual board correctly. That's really funny and embarrassing. Okay.
So for the 3rd straight draft, we're going to take Chris Godwin. Reason being, I think that I can shop at the position I want to in the next round from a wider group of guys, if that makes sense, without giving too much away.
Dude, I like Chris Godwin. To me, is I think he's not priced correctly. I'm very, very confident taking Chris Godwin in the 8th round. Very, very confident about that. If you don't like Igbuka, which the market doesn't seem to like him as much as I do, if you don't like Igbuka at all this year, I think you should be incredibly bullish on Godwin then, right? To me, that's unless you think like Jalen McMillan, is that the guy's first name, McMillan?
Yes.
Yeah,
Jalen
Jalen.
McMillan.
Right. I get confused with all of them. Okay, Jalen McMillan. Right. First names are not my thing. He's a really good player, actually. I think if he stays healthy all year, he's going to demand target volume. He's just also had really big issues staying healthy, right? So, and I think Igbuka is the guy there. But if you don't think Igbuka is the guy there, I think you should be jamming Chris Godwin in the 8th. Absolutely jamming him, especially in full PPR.
All right, so I wanted to draft running back there, and my thought process was, oh, well, I like a lot of the running backs in this tier with J.K. Dobbins, Kyle Monangai. They all go. So we're shopping a tier down now, I think.
Yeah, I'm very, very happy with my wide receiver room. I love Laporta this year as a big swing at tight end. I think there's a real chance he performs just like the super premium ones. And I'm going to be very happy if we can round out our quarterback room here with a double stack. And then we have a really great series of stacks with Jamison Williams, Sam Laporta, Jared Goff, and then CeeDee Lamb and Dak. Okay, we get our guy. Okay. Love that. Nicely constructed, nice and balanced room. I'm comfortable going with 2 tight ends and 2 quarterbacks in this build. We'll take 3 tight ends, though, if the opportunity presents itself. Does the contract extension for Zay change how you're viewing him at all? Kenny Gainwell. Oh, hey, Ted does it. Little Kenny Gainwell.
Yeah.
All right, man.
Very Yanni-coded pick. It was either that or J.P. Mason.
Hey, dude, I love this draft. I think your draft's spectacular. And if you finish it with, we'll see you go at the turn. I'll tell you who I would be taking at the turn. We just discussed him last draft. There's a very clear next pick for me here. If I were in your shoes, that I would, then it'll be like, I'll call your draft spectacular, wonderful. Call it magical if this thing falls the right way here.
I probably won't take someone that you're going to call magical. I know what I want here, though.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yep, I'm getting my Jordan Love in the boat to stack with Tucker Kraft.
Oh, nice. So it would have been Baker for me there because you had the Gainwell Godwin stack, but that's good too. Okay, so we're going to take the last of the Mohicans here for like running backs that I think really might be like game changers. That's going to be Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt to throw in there. I still think the odds are probably that he's a 2-down back in a messy split, but I do really like the upside you're getting there, that he's one of the better outside zone runners in the league. If he gets a hold of the starting role there, could be a rock solid RB2.
Yeah, man. Like, when we're talking about Rachaad White, like, who, in my estimation, has not been very good his entirety in the NFL, like, I'm not. If Bill is good at football and he is, like, worthy of being a starter, like, I don't think Rachaad White is serious competition. But you're just kind of making a bet on a largely unproven guy, right? But if I had to guess, I think he's the Skins RB1. Like, I'd be shocked if it was Rachaad White.
I don't want to keep taking. See, this is what happens: is I don't like this range of guys, so I just end up with an obscene amount of Rashid Shaheed because I think he's by far the best pick here. will be a little weird depending on what drops to us. I think he will get to us and we'll reach ahead of ADP. Rashid Shaheed to me though is so clearly when you look at this tier of wide receivers here, I'm not a big Jaden Higgins guy. I think there's real passing competition there this year, even though he had a promising rookie year. I understand. For me, it's kind of Collins or bust there. Khalil Shakir had a tightrope surgery, which is a disaster. Jalen Coker is the wide receiver two to a quarterback that throws for 180 yards per game. I'm just not big on any of it, really. It's a very bad tier. That's why I've ended up so overweight on the guys I have at that range. Okay, so we're going to do it. We're going to take our very own returning 49er, Deebo Samuel.
Shout out Debo, dude. The reason I loaded up more money into underdog.
Thank you for coming home, sir.
Happy to get my second quarterback tight end stack there with Dalton Kincaid.
Oh,
Couple
nice.
spots under ADP.
Very good price, dude. To me, like, he's not a redraft guy I'm going to have, but, like, for best ball, where he probably will have, like, 4 or 5 killer weeks, I think that's a great pick. I love your draft so far. I would have gone Baker over Love, but you still got to love stack. That's just a matter of opinion. Like, I personally would have gone Baker, but Love is still in that same tier. And I don't know, if the reports of their O-line being bad this year are true, they might have to pass it a lot more than you would think. So, oh, and this guy gets Jackson Andrews stacked that late with Kittle. This guy's doing a pretty good job. I'm not a Reed guy personally, and I don't know why you would take Herbert that high after Jackson. Oh, you have Ladd. Yeah. Nice and stacked up. Mitchell, very good price, sir. Good work, good work. See what Ted does.
I kind of wanted some.
Tracy.
I wanted some Khalil Shakir there, but that's fine. I'm gonna take another Stribs share.
Stribs.
Okay. I want to load up on Stribs because to me, I think we know what Debo's gonna do for the Niners.
Yeah.
I think that Stribs is more of like he's more interesting for me to roster in these kinds of contests where we're kind of shooting for the moon. We'll see. The Niners don't have a great track record of giving the rookies run. Usually we kind of slow roll those, but I will start buying in on Stribs.
Okay, so I've been talking about him, right? I like Omar Cooper Jr. a lot. We can basically cut wide receiver here if we want to. Probably need to build out at tight end a bit as we get later here. I'm not a Jake Ferguson guy, so I wasn't really hunting that stack with Dak. He wasn't on the board anyway. But yeah, dude, Stribs, like, I need to find, I have to give that guy credit because I've been, like, referencing it a lot, and I don't want to sound like it's, like, my idea I'm taking credit for. A dude did a wonderfully written breakdown, man, really detailed, like, just good work on Reddit about how Stribs profiles a lot like a very athletic Juwan Jennings. And when you think about the type of work that Juwan Jennings has done with Brock Purdy, if you gave like a super athlete that kind of role, like in which Stribling is like in terms of RAS, the relative athletic score, he is like top. I forget what his ranking was. I would be making it up off the top of my head if I make it up, but he's like in the tippity top of relative athletic score for draft prospects. If you gave someone who's that type of athlete the workload that Juwan Jennings has gotten the last 2 years with Purdy, like you might be looking at like Juwan Jennings at one point was like a mid-range to high-end wide receiver too. I think you have a very similar profile with Stribling. And then most important, he is a vicious run blocker. So Stribling is going to see the field. I kind of like the Debo smoke in terms of like, I think Stribling's going to be dirt cheap for you guys in redraft. I think you need to keep ripping that. As you know, as your random bench piece, as your wide receiver 5 that you're going to drop at some point anyway. Keep chasing it.
All right, so we're seeing like the big run of like the end of the tier of tight ends here, and then the quarterbacks. Like now we're getting into, we're already at the low upside. Like Shuck is probably the last guy that went in this draft that I think is like super high upside that I'd want to put as a quarterback 3. Then after that, I just feel like it's diminishing returns.
You're out on, obviously, you've said it, but you're out on Malik Willis there. That's just not going to be a pick you're making.
Nope.
Okay. So we get Bretton Strange again, dude. I continue to take him in this range. I like him better than all the wide receivers here. We're gonna see if we can't catch up. At Flournoy is another guy that I really like, especially with a Dak roster. We're gonna see if we can't catch up at running back a little bit. But again, when you have two pillars here, you need to draft like you're correct. Draft like you're correct means I'm not gonna draft like Chase Brown or Josh Jacobs bust. Because if Chase Brown or Josh Jacobs bust, this whole thing's done. It's over. So we will try. We could get a little correlation with Pacheco and Goff, but Pacheco feels so gross to me, so absolutely sickening to me this year to draft. It's just somebody I'm not going to take. And I think the other dude there, whatever his name is, the Polynesian fella, I think it's the Polynesian guy's like Vaitai, maybe. They have another
To
running
me,
back
the
there
problem
that I
with
think
the
is better.
Pacheco thing for me is if you're gonna make a bet on like a handcuff running back, I'd rather make the bet on Bigsby, who
Yep.
I think is just a significantly better player than Isaiah Pacheco.
Yep.
I think we saw last year that Pacheco was dust and not good at football,
Yeah, I
which
mean
that's fine.
he was coming off the tightrope too, right? So there's that's again why I'm fading tightrope guys. But that's absolutely correct, right? You want a handcuff where if that handcuff hits, you have a league winner, you know? And like that's certainly a Bigsby. That's a Kamara. If ETN goes down and Kamara gets it, I don't know if league winner is the right word, but you have a really quality flex because he's going to get a percentage of the work there, and Ted is not going to get Tank Bigsby because I am. Let's see how Ted follows that up, or what did he do? Oh, you went Algier before that. Okay, I'm surprised you like Algier more than Bigsby.
Yeah, I think Algier has a more of a
Might
role on
might
the
start.
team.
Yeah, might start. Okay.
He probably is going to start, and I think that because Jeremiah Love was awful on the goal line, like his entire college career, his like goal line stuff rate was very very high. I think Algier is just going to be the guy, like that gets the touchdowns for Arizona, and I'm getting the vibes that they're going to slow play Love. So like I view Algier as like kind of like a he's kind of like a floor play. I know he's going to get work,
Yep.
and when I have a room of Cook in Hampton, right? It's a little fragile. My only other guy is Gainwell, who I know is getting points. So I was like, okay, I want a guy who I know isn't going to be a zero half of the season, just in case one of those two goes down. And that was Algier to me. To me, Tank Bigsby could just be a zero for 8 of the weeks of the year.
Maybe. I like Tank this year.
Well, I
Dude.
mean, last year they did not show a willingness to get Tank Bigsby involved, even in the worst Saquon season, right?
Yeah.
Like that's just kind of what that was.
Yeah, last year there was the Hitler of offensive coordinators there. Absolutely horrific human being. Kevin Patullo, dude, man, Mediterranean people get such little representation in this sport. There's no Greeks. There's very few Italians, and who do I have to work with? Nick Sirianni and Kevin Patullo. Oh God. Okay.
Sirianni's the man. Okay, I'm gonna need you to respect the Sirianni.
Sure, bro. Okay. So I continue to be a huge Dylan Sampson guy at cost. Not like I don't want to be like, oh, it's this flag play. He's going to be a league winner. It's nothing like that. I think Dylan Sampson is going to be their third down back. I think if Judkins comes out a little slow, a little gimpy, whatever, think he could get more work in the beginning of the season that we think. And then if the offensive line's really bad and they have to start doing the extension of the passing or running game passes out of the backfield, I think Sampson gets some work this year. So I love him as my running back 5 in these types of builds. I feel really good about my receiver room, so I don't feel the need to chase that here. I would absolutely love to wrap this up with Sampson, wrap up the room. Okay, that's what we get. I like that, man. Sampson is not being valued or loved by the community enough. So this is again exactly how I want to build it. Not exactly, actually. I would prefer 2 like lottery tickets, but you could call JCM a lottery ticket. Dak Prescott and Jared Goff. That's probably a little flat for some people. Maybe if Geno Smith is available there at the end, we can take him. But Chase Brown, Josh Jacobs, JCM, Tank Bigsby, Dylan Sampson. Exactly the type of double hero rooms I like to build per my article this week. And then CeeDee Lamb and Zay Flowers, 2 volume guys, but high-end volume guys, and then the big boom bust guy in J-Mo Williams. I think Marvin Harrison Jr. does great this year. I am all in on the year 3 breakout for Marvin Harrison Jr. I don't care what the market says. We will go.
There goes Ferguson. Were you gonna go 3 tight end?
Ferguson was in my queue. There he goes. Gone forever as the hype keeps building, as it probably should. When
We
you
couldn't
have
out Ferg that guy.
Yeah, well, God, aggressive too. Pitts, Andrews, Ferguson. That dude's gonna get a positional edge. You got Jerry Judy. Very good price on Jerry Judy for our very own Theodore here. Follows it up with Calvin Ridley. Two of the channel favorites. Two of the channel favorites at cost. So I could build a better tight end room or a better quarterback room, but we have Omar Cooper Jr. So we're gonna do a Geno Smith as our third quarterback. I know that's the meta. I don't really like three quarterbacks when we have this kind of room, but it's a good fall with a stack. I mean, it's at ADP, but it fell to us at ADP with the stack, so we'll do it because I don't want another running back. Anything else here is just luxury. Maybe a tight end to like really push this thing over the top, but I don't know who I'd be going for there. Oh, well, certainly if he's here. Certainly if our boy Kate Otten is back here, continues to be one of my favorite picks. Greg Dulcich goes. If Kate Otten goes here, I'm going to be sad. And the Baker Mayfield drafter's coming back around on the turn. Is he a zero tight end guy? We have Dulcich and Warren. Yeah, I would take Kate Otten if I were him. What do you think about there are some in the community that seem to think Gregory Dulcich is a tight end one this year. How are we feeling about that?
I don't think he's a tight end one, but I think that he could be the leading pass catcher in Miami, and that's who I'd probably bet on to be that. Miami is just in shambles, man. Like, hold on, let me see if I can find him. There's that wide receiver that people were starting to talk about in camp. Caleb Douglas is the one. Caleb Douglas, I believe, was their highest drafted wide receiver in the draft this year. So some people are thinking, oh, okay, well, Caleb Douglas, why is everyone forgetting about him? I think that's an interesting round 18 dart throw, but there is just no one on that roster, and it feels like they might just do a couple easy button looks with Greg D. Not a high upside guy, I don't think. Like, I think maybe tight end too, but we're drafting in the 16th round. So, James Conner goes at the 17-3. I was actually looking at James Conner to just corner the Arizona Cardinals running back market. Imagine if Jeremiah Love tears his ACL and I just by default have all of the Cardinals.
Oh, dude, don't say that's such a painful thing to say. Okay, so I'm gonna hope that he survived. I'll actually do that kind of reasoning. By the way, when I'm drafting handcuffs, I'll avoid the handcuffs of guys it would hurt me too much to see go down. So like Brian Robinson in Atlanta, there goes Kate Otten. That would have been a really sweet pickup. Brian Robinson in Atlanta, I won't roster because it would hurt my feelings so much if I had to watch Bijan go down. Okay, we're just gonna pick a value here. Ooh, Kayshon Boutte is certainly that. There's no stacks this late, I don't think.
Don't do it, Yoni. Don't do it.
No, I don't want Braylon Allen. We're gonna take Kayshon Boutte. Nice big swing as our last wide receiver.
Braylon Allen is not who I was looking at. I wanted Kalen Black. I thought you were going to Kalen Black me.
Oh, no. Kalen Black me also sounds like the name of adult media content.
Dude, this guy got Mendoza at the 17-10. I actually love that. Yeah, he has Cam Ward is like his quarterback too. Like I'm much more interested in rostering Mendoza than Cam Ward. I don't see the upside in Cam Ward whatsoever.
I don't know. Cam made plays last year, dude. Cam made some plays. I don't agree with it. I don't agree with like no upside whatsoever. So this is just a weird one that's becoming a bet that I'm making now for my tight end threes and these things where like so this is when I'll just F around a little bit with my last pick. Dak Prescott, Jared Goff, Geno Smith, very strong quarterback room, probably more so for me than the market because I'm extremely high on Goff. Chase Brown, Josh Jacobs, Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, Tank Bigsby, Dylan Sampson. Love the running backs. CeeDee Lamb, Zay Flowers, J-Mo, Marvin Harrison Jr., Debo, Omar Cooper Jr., Kayshon Boutte. Love the wide receiver room. Laporta and Strange, two of my huge bets this year that I just love. Gonna take them. I'm starting to think that Charlie Kolar is going to be the lead tight end for the Chargers. Based on, I'm trusting Brett Whitefield of Fantasy Points when he did the film study and said, I'm telling you right now, this is their starting tight end, and he's going to play on running downs and passing downs, and he's going to lead them in catches. I'm chasing what I think is that McDaniels tight end. It's an incredibly lucrative position in fantasy. I think we all should be as a community. So that's gonna be a tight end bet I'm making late. I don't know if it's a redraft thing. I doubt it becomes sticky in redraft, but maybe. It's just I keep picking at that, and I know Gadsden had like the historic year, but he's such a bad run blocker, as Ted pointed out when I first told him I was interested in Gadsden. So yeah, man, that's interesting. Okay, so Ted, really nice value here at Kalon Black and Braylon Allen, who has 49ers fans and is me, a writer that covers the 49ers for 49ers Hub. In my humble opinion, and Ted agrees, we're taking Kalon Black as the handcuff there. I don't believe it's Jordan James. I know there's some split in the community about that. That's not how I'm treating it. Braylon Allen, again, same thing, split in the community about who the backup is. It is Isaiah Davis or Braylon Allen. To me, either Braylon Allen is the backup there or he's going to get traded for midseason because this dude is a freaking animal. I think he's like, what is he, like 230 pounds of just pure muscle?
250.
250. And I mean like 250 of like just a monster, dude. Yeah, so he continues to be a bet we're constantly making. Jalen Naylor and Stribbs, excellent value there. I think Jalen Naylor is the late Raiders' leading receiver this year, assuming Brandon Ayuk does not go there. Kincaid, late pick, very good value. Jordan Love, one of the best QB2s you can take. Kenneth Gainwell, one of my absolute favorites in this price range. Tucker Kraft, Jordan Tyson, two of my favorites. Terry McLaurin, just a killer draft from Ted. Exactly how, if you want to see like what the free Tendies fantasy philosophy about how to build a draft is, take Josh Allen if he's a value. We love Josh Allen, but 2 running back start. Josh Allen, 3 excellent receivers, 4 in your next 5 picks to anchor a room. We're big Tucker Kraft and Laporta guys. We took them back to back there. That's kind of scenic. It's like worth taking a picture of. Gainwell, I'm a huge Gainwell guy. Ted reluctantly takes him. Ted is much more of like a Dobbins guy. That's fine, right? They're all in that tier. Whoever you prefer. I would guess you prefer Mason to him in some ways, right?
You know, yes, I do. Like, I think the Mason upside is way higher than Kenny Gainwell's upside, but what I was going for on this roster is I need points if either Cook or Hampton go down. So I needed someone who wasn't going to goose for me. And Mason could goose, I feel like. Kenny Gainwell just seems like he's like a floor play.
Okay, guys. So that is the reignition of the fast puppy. If we're lucky, Ted will jump into a few more of these with us. If not, he will be hanging out in the, I don't want to say that word on YouTube, in the C word chair. In the, the chair where you watch things, the chair across the room where you watch things happen. There is a word for that. If not, he will join us for that. And we're going to be ripping these. I'm going to rip like 2 or 3 of these a night through redraft season. So probably through mid to late August. Drop in, ask your questions, check out the Substack. I'm dropping the wide receiver tiers tomorrow, dropping the wide receiver strategy video article in the next day or 2, and then I'm synthesizing all of it into a big comprehensive draft guide so people can read and sort of get an idea what they want to do. At this point, I'm looking at writing like 50 to 60 pages of draft content for how to draft and how I'm drafting. Maybe it matters, maybe it doesn't. We'll never know, but the article response was really good. The running back article got 700 views, like 10 new subscribers to the Substack. That's really cool. For written content, I know that's hard to get. So thank you guys for checking it out. The receiver tiers will be out tomorrow. The strategy's a way better read. Ignore the tiers if you want. The strategy's coming out in a couple days. And we're going to try to get you guys like how we view fantasy football, right? We're going to try to get that on paper. We disagree on some things, but for the most part, right, we disagree. Or we agree on the big stuff. So please check out the Substack, the Discord, the free Tendies League. It's all free. We're not trying to get money out of you. We just want to compete against you in fantasy. Ted, who would you say? You definitely beat me in the first one. I think I don't even know. I was going to say I think I like mine a little bit better than yours because I'm so high on it, but yours was very good too. Who won this one? We'll call it the winner today. I think you won round 1.
I feel like you let me have things, so I like my roster better than yours, but I feel like you felt bad for continually sniping me in the previous round, so I'm not like taking a win here.
Oh, get out of here. No, I did not. All right. So you're saying that you think your roster's better. Just say it. Say yes, and then you're claiming the win.
Yes, I think my roster is better, but I think you purposely did stuff like take CD Lamb so I could have Cook because you felt bad.
There you have it. Thank you guys. Thank you guys so much for coming, checking out the stream. Thanks for hanging out with us. We try to keep it interesting. We're here to answer questions. We're here to talk over mock drafts, whatever you need. Come stop by, say what's up. That is it, and we will see you guys tomorrow. Please like and subscribe too if you're so inclined.